Sorry, I'll give you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's all stand as we observe a moment of silence for the late Zambia President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu.
Passe le ballon! There in last year's tournament, the man wearing the number 7 jersey. For Zambia, it's amazing how they came into last year's tournament with many expecting them to be favourites, and now it all fell apart. Game by game, the pressure just got bigger and bigger. Each time they didn't get a favourable result. Now, here they are pushing forward. It's beautifully done on the build-up, and the eventual shot here finds Shinra having positioned himself well, but beautifully tied here. It's creative, also great movement off the ball. The defense was always reacting to the offensive force rather than trying to take the initiative. With Zambia again. Well, they played well last year. A few of the players in this year's tournament would have been there last year from a Zambian and Comoros point of view. For Zambia, it's amazing how things started and just, it became an uphill battle. Firstly, up against the Kenyans, the visitors last year. Kenya walked away 2-0 winners in that encounter, scoring 2 goals, one in the first half and the other in the second. Then it was Zambia, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, of course, making the big return. This was the big game of the group stages last season. Zimbabwe walked away 2-0 winners. And then Comoros just rounded up what was a shocking tournament from the Zambians by beating them with a 1-0 scoreline and ending up top of Group B. So battle on here. They haven't forgotten the Zambians, of that you can be sure. They'll be here looking to settle the score. Ten minutes in, Zambia now looking for joy here in the pace of Sangoma on the senior side. Come on again. Nice and organized defensively. For the most part, they all play their football, for the most part. Outside of the borders of Comoros, the men in green. A lot out in Europe, a few in countries like Congo, as well as Cote d'Ivoire, maybe I should say. Yanis and Idris in the heart of defense, not really having options to play into midfield, so forced to go long. They've done a good job of picking up the pieces on that far side. Strong in winning it back. The ball in, then isn't bad. It was a 2-on-2 battle inside the box. Important for Malenga to react in the way that he did. So Comoros inside the opening 12 minutes. Best chance of the game then with the save from Malenga. And who plays tough football for Power Dynamos. Well, he's a man whom we've grown used to seeing come out with Comoros every COSAFA Cup now over the last good number of years. Is Jamba Ahamada. Interesting to hear him talk over the years whenever he does come down here with Comoros, how the narrative has changed from, well, we are looking to do our best and see if we can come up with a win to the conversation he had earlier on today with Matamala Marake, where he's speaking about possibly winning the COSAFA Cup one day. Haji with a foul. So much expected over the Zambian side with a lovely ball over to the near side. And the touch from Masiangombo. Getting him down, seriously does have pace here. And I will look to take advantage of Naif Dine. Whenever he pushes forwards, we'll have to be very much aware of the movement of the pacey Siangombo. And of course, there are men in the middle of the park that do have the ability to not only spot the runs he's making, but the quality in the pass, the educated left to right foot to pick out that run. Afadi amongst those that was present with the Comoros in last year's tournament, barging into the back of the defender here. So keep in mind, just 3 teams, and there's a Group C, meaning there'll be pressure to hit the ground running here and get the results as quickly as possible. Zambia, a race shot at anger so far in this match. Never really looking convincing. As soon as it left his foot in, very much got under it. Took it well, initially did Siangombo. As soon as it left his foot, you could tell there was going to be no problems for Shindra. So Zambia again with Soko. Well, he's invited enough space to think about the shot again. It's from a long way out and it's a hopeful attempt. And it won't trouble Mshinda. As long as they're shooting from that sort of range, he won't worry at all. The man who plays his club football in France at Toulouse. So for the Zambian fans, yeah, opening 15 would have been crucial. They wouldn't have wanted to concede, although they've seen the best chance go to Comoros. Here they come with, well, yet another chance to drive forward and see if they can create a chance. And Madi there's who gets it horribly wrong with his attempted goal. There were a good number of upsets in last year's tournament. You remember, I mentioned Zambia and Zimbabwe not qualifying from their group. Also had the likes of South Africa not qualifying in a group with Mozambique, Eswatini and Botswana. That was last year, so there were lots of shocks and upsets in last year's tournament. So go. Yes, Buddy. Well, the referee very quick to move over to this near side already. His intentions are clear. Card in hands. First man to go to the referee's book here this evening is Sangala. Plays for Toulon in France. He's flown in here. Never really looked as though it would be his ball in terms of the pace over the opponent. Now, could be a chance here for Comoros. They certainly are getting the ball in some interesting areas around the box. The final product during the shots coming in, Tamalonga, or Malenga I should say, wayward, but they certainly are getting into positions where they can think about the shot. Positive from them. From a Southern African point of view, the Zambians very much a powerhouse. The most successful side in the COSAFA Regional and the COSAFA Cup. Had to wait a long time over the years for their maiden AFCON win. There'll be many that feel with the seriousness with which they approach the game of football. As we look back at this foul, certainly should be rubbing shoulders with the best on the continent in the way of AFCONs and such on a more regular basis. Zambia, they certainly do dish out a good quality football player, both in the men's and women's game and in the juniors as well. They are a solid footballing nation from Southern Africa. Well, here's Yanis. Again, they take their time here in alignment to push forward and pick up the second ball then, and there's a Manu once on the ball. Then if there is to be a shot from range, Yusuf did score 1 or 2 stunning goals during the course of last season, but they're doing this so well where they find the striker just in front of him. 1 or 2 are the options in. And again, it's Comoros that may not be having that much in the way of ball position, but they certainly are creating moments here that are quite clear-cut. Good strong play on the far side defensively, and well, the challenge is coming in that seems to be legal by the referee. So it's Zambia having work to do again defensively with Mumanzi conceding the throw-in. Wells with some good movement off the ball. Then again, it needed to be read and jumped with. They certainly are enjoying the best spell over the match so far. The likes of Zanudine. With the ball in, they had 3 in the box, and Zambia suddenly looking uncomfortable. Very nicely done by Comoros here. In another early ball, and Zambia, who had a good start in the opening 15, finding they can't or aren't allowed to put together 2-3 passes. That was Yanis who came out of nowhere in a flash to anticipate the pass, win it back, and win a set piece in a very good area. Impressive this from Comoros. Now, Comoros running the wave here. They've got another dead ball situation, and Zambia having everybody back are able to keep them at bay. But these will be some crucial moments in the way of the 90 minutes for Comoros, the point at which maybe the game swapped and they began to enjoy themselves as well with the ball at their feet. Not just Zambia on their own, but the Zambians. Well, they're knocking on that door of the final third. They just aren't able to open them up. The men in green, very quick to get behind the ball. Yep. Zambia determined here to not only keep the opponents put back, but they'll be looking for much better in the way of service from Siangombo. No. Opening 21 minutes here have certainly been rather interesting. It's just seeing the momentum of the game go this way. That's Zambia with a good start. Comoros now a side that's, well, reminding us that they did have the beating of Zambia last year, didn't they? Confident with the ball at their feet. Here they are finding a bit of space with Zanu in the middle of the park. Yusuf, Zanu. Not a ton of Zambia to have, what, 9 or so players behind the ball. Listening to Wesley Yolanda, the coach of the Zambian side, did mention that, well, the days of saying there's minnows in the COSAFA Cup, I think, in the past. Comoros proving that with the way they've gone about business last year and in recent times qualifying for an AFCON. Namibia winning the COSAFA Cup. Signs, all of those that the men from the island nations are looking for top spots in as far as the African continent. Nice work on this near side until they're at a wayward ball, and now immediately Zambia looks to exploit that near side. Tiangombo. This is where it's all falling apart for the Zambians. Going into that final third, they haven't had the quality and ability as yet to outwit the Comoros defense. Patient Comoros. Zanujine. And the Zambians will allow them to pass it around inside their own half here. There's space going over that halfway line as well. Interesting how they are able to connect going all the way to the byline. That touch of the defender. So now causing discomfort in beginning to win some dead ball situations inside the opposition half of the field. Here the men in green, Madi, with the outswinger numbers to try and pick out inside that box. Zambia doing just about enough. Well, that nudge there is the reason why the whistle goes against the frustrated figure that is Haji. Of course, a name that has been popular over the years in as far as football on the African continent and at the World Cup stage, Haji. Remember Romania's Haji back in the 90s? He was nice, the former Barcelona player. And of course, Mustafa Haji from Morocco, also one of the legends from a Moroccan point of view. Scored some stunners in his day. He could play. Mustafa Haji, don't know if many of you can remember him. He had the curly hair with the ponytail. Now, here is Haji, one that hails from Comoros, running into a brick wall in the way of that Zambian defense. Again, they are in no hurry. Comoros here, approaching the half-hour mark. Space in the middle of the park for Malenga. Done well to ride the challenge and keep it moving on the far side. Now they've got the movement from Soko, who's got 4 options inside that box, and Comoros very wise in anticipating that cutback. Now, chance of the counter attack. Arms, I do believe, are used illegally then. That was a proper race on the far side. Strength and speed. In the end, Mumanzi may have felt he was losing in one of those 2 crucial areas, more so the speed department, where strength is what he used to upend the opponent. They'll need to organize well defensively. And also, the first goal here could very well be crucial in determining a winner. We haven't seen too many goals to this year's COSAFA Cup. Now, another set piece it is, and it's interesting how the Zambians have almost completely lost the rhythm and momentum they had inside the opening 10. Here's Malenga, plays for Power Dynamos. Looking to pick out the man out right on the senior side. Banda on the overlap. That's good work under pressure by Yanis, and firstly protecting the ball and creating the opportunity to play down the line where he's found a teammate with the pass, by the way. Now, Chidra seeing more and more of the ball in comfortable situations such as this, the man between the sticks for Comoros. Attempts from the Zambians to try and pin back the opponents, and when it's back nice and high up the field, they've got the opening. Again, good positioning from Chindra. Getting behind it, and again we wait and continue to wait for the first goal in Group C. Numbers looking to pick up the second ball. So momentum looking as though it may very well be switching once again towards this Zambian side. Now, that's good work. And skipped the line by Madi, looking for the byline. In strength from Banda means that's illegal play. He's bundled his man over and wrestled him to the ground, and plain and simple. Body check. So, Comoros, again with another promising moment here in the way of the set piece and a chance to grab the lead against the Zambians. Last time they played, they were the first to score, and only to score, against the Zambians in the COSAFA Cup last year. Can they keep the good times rolling? A good start to the game here from Comoros. There's a chance! Yes, they found the back of the net. Lovely ball, beautifully met by Madi, and the good times do keep rolling for Comoros. Whoa, 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 whoa. They came into this game with belief. They've gone about this game with a lot of belief following the heroics from last year. It's just spilled over. And for the island nation of Comoros, wow, beautifully met then by Madi. He had momentum coming in then, which gives him the huge advantage over the defender standing and jumping, going up. He's flying in. Is your goal scorer. And Madi. Another to score against the Zambians for Comoros, yeah. Now, Zambia, to get this second half underway, and I told you of or mentioned the struggles last year, and by far came into the tournament as the favourites, but Once it went south quickly for them. And with each game in the group stages, they just had more and more pressure on them without the results. Finished bottom of the group. Unbelievable. We all felt last year, but Comoros are looking to show that they can do it once again. Nice skill here by Mahdi. Yusuf amongst those to keep it moving now. Space on that far side as they won't get it right in finding the quality in the ball here, Comoros. Pace and strength. Zambia will have a slight concern here inside the opening 30 minutes. The lack of clear-cut chances for one. That momentum inside the opening 5-10 minutes. Something they look to go back to. That cross way too close to Mchindla. Plays his tough football for Toulouse in France, does Mchindla. Important that he got involved in with the likes of Penny Jr. looking to take advantage should he have spilled. Comoros have the lead if you are just joining us. Nassim, the only players to have picked up a yellow card. Now it's the Zambians' turn to try and chase and to try and make things happen. Mentioned the upset so far in this year's tournaments. Again, Comoros looking to keep us guessing in who will win matches going forward here in this tournament. Just carrying on with the third from last year. Good play on the far side. Good burst of pace here. Soko struggling. Explosive on the far side. There's a Haji. Again, time now is going to be a serious factor. Could work against the Zambians. I'm not necessarily saying it will, but it's like the struggles from last season is one half, and then one half turns into two. Again, the big concern here is the creation or lack thereof in the way of clear-cut chances for the Zambians. Yes, you're trailing, but something to work with going forward. There's very little in that regard. Keeper has come out a long way here. Not to have gotten a touch at the end of it all. He offers his apologies and maybe should. Soko for Dynamos, unable to get the touch. Crucial now for Comoros to stay as sound defensively as they have been. Flick on then from Yusuf, very nearly finding Afani then, who reacted late to the touch. Now, pressure, whole lot of pressure. Did well to stand his ground, however. The Siangombo, so the pressure applied by Nassim here. And a yellow card, needs to tread carefully. Time and space for Haji. Now pace with the men in green once again. Looking to improve then with the ball into the near post again. The Zambians are having to work extremely hard in defending that near post. Here they are looking to kickstart the counter. Again, Comoros very quick to get numbers back here. Time now, serious factor. It'll be a huge boost here and a positive boost for Comoros if they don't concede before the halftime break. The defense solid then in climbing up high to get that ball clear. Good one too. Soko involved on the far side. Byline again is Zambia with good numbers in the box, just unable to fashion the clear-cut chance. Olenga, first to get to it, the angle made it difficult for him to steer there towards goal. Plenty of numbers, so much. That's a positive about that Zambian attack on that occasion. And making their own luck happen. They are looking to take chances and gamble and send men into the box here. Very much about finding that equalizing goal here, the Zambians. Time. Again, the pressure means one can ill afford to make a mistake. Mimanzi had to go safety first, then losing the ball in that sort of area, trailing by a goal to nil. Would have been heartbreaking for the Zambians. Again, the men from Comoros will be happy with one or two things here. From a supporting point of view, the Zambians don't quite have the numbers one would have hoped for out in the Free State. So, empty house means it's pretty much Zambia and what they can do on the field here against Comoros, what they have to offer on the field without the influence of the 12 men to spur the sides on. Again, Zambia, like Zimbabwe and Malawi, over the years have really done themselves proud with the way they've come out here to support the nations. Yellow card shown here. And Sankala, I do believe is the man that's seen the yellow, plays for Kwabo, or Kwabe, I should say. Operating in the heart of defense alongside Muimanzi. I mean, a touch late in coming from behind. Yep. Yusuf, who, like I say, was one of those players that left us with some lasting memories from last year's tournaments. Great moments of brilliance, great displays, won the Man of the Match award on a few occasions for Comoros in that unforgettable tournament for them. Yanis. So 40 minutes gone by here for Zambia. The struggles are true. Momentum completely lost here, maybe confidence, maybe suffering somewhat. And Comoros are very much up for the fight in the middle of the park. Then, for what we saw then from this is anything to go by. Not willing to give an inch here. Plays for FC Brussels or Reset in France. I'll say a good number of players for this Comoros outfit. They play the club football in France in the lower divisions. Good ball. Yusuf wasting no time in trying to find the two men in there. Neither the better ball, then not caught too much air or spent too much time in the air, that ball from Yusuf. Zambian fans will begin to get that familiar feeling that maybe creeping back to them from last year, where maybe the feeling was it'll get better next time, and it just didn't get better as the games went along. And keep in mind, I mentioned it earlier, just 3 teams in this group, meaning pressure from the get-go if you lose a game. Zambians now I'm going to ask questions which hang Ochansa. Siangombo. Again, Comoros with men staying goal side and crosses being denied the Zambians, including shots from outside of the box. I mean, are looking to implore the early ball to be played in here. At least having none of it, done well to avoid the corner and ensure that it's the men in green that can play it out here. Bit of space on this near side. Looks like obstruction is obstruction then. Well, long gone by the time the contact comes to the 4 here, Madi. That's your goal scorer. This for Estes out in France. Waiting for the sign on how much time will be added on to the end of this first half. So, big question is, can Comoros make it 2-0 here? Header looking for Yusuf. In the end, it's sensible play from Sangala and working it back to Malenga. Malenga, one of the 2 from Power Dynamos are in the starting lineup. Well, at the end of the half here, we may well get a chance to look at the numbers here, which may be a concern. The stats from the Zambians, especially on the front foot. Eager to get men forward and try and create the chances. Once again, there's 4 or 5 in the box awaiting the cross. It just didn't arrive. No quality in that final ball. There'll be a minute added on to the 45. A minute for Comoros to hold on here at the end of the 45 to take the lead into the half-time break and begin to get that familiar feeling at the end of the group stages with last year. Now, pace on the far side. Oh, strength defensively. Upsets. Well, it's been the big talking point. The host nation, South Africa, losing on the opening day. The most successful nation, Zambia, struggling in the opening 45 minutes of the tournament opener. Upsets. Comoros looking to be amongst those that start on the positive against heavyweights on the in the form of the Zambians. Confirmation of the 1 minute to be added on. Dangerous play then from Afane. That's solid defending. That's full stretch, working hard to secure this lead into the half-time break. The Zambians' time certainly running out here. Comoros having it back where they wanted at the end of the half. Again, they're very sensible. The likes of Hajin, and they're just using the space out there to keep it away from the Zambians. In the end, they've worked it beautifully into the box, and a serious scare of the near post to Zambia, needing to deal with the danger. And for Comoros, they ended on a positive then, as they look to mesmerize the Zambian defense. But big moment belonged to Comoros here in this first half in Bloemfontein. They found the back of the nets. From the dead ball. Zambia had a good opening 5-10 minutes. Other than that, the struggles from last season have come to the fore seriously here in this year's tournament, thanks to the response from Comoros after a first 10 minutes where they were playing within themselves. One could argue they have been the better team at the end of the first 45. So, time for introspection then. Gents, it says a lot when you look at the body language, doesn't it? The difference in body language tells you a lot here. Some may be having a case of self-doubt, maybe, while others are looking like a side with well, a whole lot of belief. And that's Comoros leading Zambia by a scoreline of 1-0. Now, numbers. One chance on target for each side. Yeah, for Comoros, they've got the one, they've converted the one, but they've got 5 goal attempts and more off the ball than Zambia. So, Zambia have a lot to do in getting it right here, whilst they've struggled both offensively and defensively. We go take a short air break. We'll come back and we'll continue to see whether there will be an upset out in Bloemfontein. Of a goalmouth action, there haven't been any clear-cut chances yet created. In fact, it's a Comoros now that will be looking for their best moments on the front foot. To the set piece from a long way out. Oh! Top quality, best moment of the match. Back just in time to catch Mulenga, denying Comoros with Aslani asking questions, serious questions. This moved a bit in the air, that ball. Wondering if it did brush the wall at all. Best chance of the game so far going to Comoros now. With many expecting them to be favourites, and now it all fell apart. Game by game, the pressure just got bigger and bigger. Each time they didn't get a favourable result. Now, here they are pushing forward. It's beautifully done on the build-up, and the eventual shot here finds Shinra having positioned himself well, beautifully tied here. It's creative, also great movement off the ball. The defense was always reacting. So keep in mind, just 3 teams, and there's a Group C, meaning there'll be pressure to hit the ground running here and get the results as quickly as possible. Zambia, a race shot at anger so far in this match. Never really looking convincing. As soon as it left his foot in, very much got under it. Took it well initially, did Yangombo. As soon as he left his foot, you could tell there was going to be no problems for Mchindra. So Zambia again with Soko. Well, he's invited enough space to think about the shot again. It's from a long way out, and it's a hopeful attempt. It won't trouble Mchindra. As long as they're shooting from that sort of range, he won't worry at all. The man who plays his club football in France at Toulouse. Well, here's Yanis. Again, they take their time here in allowing men to push forward and pick up the second ball. Then, and there's a man you want on the ball. Then, if there is to be a shot from range, Yusuf did score 1 or 2 stunning goals during the course of last season, but they're doing it so well where they find the striker and just in front of him. 1 or 2 are the options in. Attempts from the Zambians to try and pin back the opponents, and when it's back nice and high up the field, they've got the opening. Again, good positioning from Chindra. Getting behind it, and again we wait and continue to wait for the first goal in Group C. Numbers looking to pick up the second ball. So, Comoros, again with another promising moment here in the way of the set piece and a chance to grab the lead against the Zambians. Last time they played, they were the first to score, and only to score, against the Zambians in the COSAFA Cup last year. Can they keep the good times rolling? It's been a good start to the game here from Comoros. There's a chance! Yes, they found the back of the net! Lovely ball, beautifully met by Madi, and the good times do keep rolling for Comoros. Whoa. They came into this game with belief. They've gone about this game with a lot of belief following the heroics from last year. It's just spilled over. And for the island nation of Comoros, wow, beautifully met then by Mahdi. He had momentum coming in then, which gives him the huge advantage over the defender standing and jumping, going up. He's flying in. Your goal scorer. And Mahdi. Lack of clear-cut chances for one. And momentum inside the opening 5-10 minutes. Something they look to go back to. That cross way too close to Mchindra. Plays his club football for Toulouse in France. There's Mchindra. Yes, you're trailing, but something to work with going forward. There's very little in that regard. Keeper has come out a long way here. Not to have gotten a touch at the end of it all. He offers his apologies and maybe should. Soko for Dynamos, unable to get the touch. Time now, serious factor. It'll be a huge boost here. And a positive boost for Comoros if they don't concede before the halftime break. The defense solid then and climbing up high to get that ball clear. Good one too. Soko involved on the far side. Byline again is Zambia with good numbers in the box, just unable to fashion the clear-cut chance. Malenga, first to get to it, the angle made it difficult for him to steer that towards goal. Plenty of numbers, so much. That's a positive about that Zambian attack on that occasion. And making their own luck happen. They are looking to take chances and gamble and send men into the box here. Very much about finding that equalizing goal here, the Zambians. Again, the men from Comoros will be happy with one or two things here. From a supporting point of view, the Zambians don't quite have the numbers one would have hoped for out in the Free State. So, empty house means it's pretty much Zambia and what they can do on the field here against Comoros, what they have to offer on the field without the influence of the 12 men to spur the sides on. Again, Zambia, like Zimbabwe and Malawi, over the years have really done themselves proud with the way they've come out here to support the nations. Yellow card shown here. And Sankala, I do believe is the man that's seen the yellow, plays for Kwabo, or Kwabe, I should say. Operating in the heart of defense alongside Muimanzi. I mean, a touch late then coming from behind. Welcome back to the Free State capital, where it's all happening from a COSAFA Cup point of view here. Of course, in the first 45, the men in green, the men in your picture, have, well, once again, picked up from where they left off last year in looking to not only serve up entertainment, but cause upsets and ensure that they are amongst the sides we talk about nice and early in the group stages. Reason being, Comoros last year ended the group stage with a 1-0 win over Zambia. That was a big talking point for those of us that watched and enjoyed that game, and enjoyed getting to know some of the stars from Comoros that really did impress throughout last year's tournament, the best showing ever in the COSAFA Cup. For Zambia last year, you remember, they didn't get out of the group stages, finished bottom of their group with Kenya and Zimbabwe, along with Comoros in that group. They were the favourites going into the tournament to win it. Start off well here this evening. If you are just joining us out in the Free State, where it's cold in the evening time, after 10 or so minutes, it's Comoros that found the confidence, rhythm, and Comoros that went on to score the opening goal here, create the better chances, and take the lead into the half-time break. So, big question is for the Zambians. Can they do this year what they struggled to do last year? They played well, but once they went behind last year, the struggles were in still coming from behind to get favourable results. So, Comoros setting the tone and continuing from where everybody left off last season. Big question is, how will the second 45 pan out here for the Zambians? No changes by the look of it yet in the way they start the second. Same 11 that started the match. Comoros, I do believe, haven't made a change themselves here at the start of the second half. They will, of course, attack the goal to the right of your picture, will Comoros, while Zambia will attack the goal to the left. A crucial 45 this for the Zambians and Comoros, both looking for the bright start to the tournament. This group is just 3 in it. Zambia now pushing forward and will certainly be looking to make an impact early in the half here, the Zambians. They've done a solid job defensively so far. Comoros just a one shot on target from Zambia in the first 45. That's it. There was just the one on target from Comoros as well in the first 45. The difference being there is found the back of the net. Yusuf having two strong men alongside of him. One of them is Soko. Return. Beautifully done then in finding some time and space in the middle of the park. Zambia pushing forward here with Siangombo. Zulu now. Still unable to find enough space here to send in the early ball or the cross once they do have it in a crossing position out wide. Comoros have done that well from the first half. They've continued here in the second. They aren't allowing the deliveries from the wide areas. Banda now will look for this to be as good as a corner. With a near post flick on. Well, they winning on the winning on the far post and also at the edge of the box to Comoros and clearing the danger. Well, the COSAFA Cup full of surprises. Well, it's all about doing right with last year's wrongs for the Zambians. Still finding the great tough. That's beautifully done. Powerful into the movement from Haji. Now put in just 1, 2, 3 men arriving in the box now. That was a important challenge to get right then. And an important moment once again for Zambia defensively. Staying in the game. Able to get things moving on a counter-attack. Jan is doing well. Loving the tempo of this game here in the second half. There's the third man running. He's done a good job at keeping it alive. Now, 3 options in the box. Let down by the quality of the ball. Idris covered a lot of ground on that far side. Comoros looking good with the build-up. Some nice touches then to keep it moving and keep it away from the Zambians as they got into the crossing position. Well, Sangara over Gabo in the heart of the defense. Having at times to work in keeping the men in green from being troublesome again. They are applying pressure from the front, forcing Zambia to go route one. Strength coming to the fore here, and determination, and in the end, this lovely work defensively. Stood his ground and did so well. The Yanis, even when going to ground, still had the upper hand here in being able to ensure that the advantage was never with Lionel Malenga. Great contest between the two, run by the defender. They need to get it together in as far as their creative players here. Working as a team, firstly, to open up the defense of the island nation to the Zambians. That's what Comoros have done well. They've dropped back, defended as a team. They've pushed forward as a team. Bit of space on the far side now. Good work defensively. It is playing a more and more telling part here in the defensive part of the game here for the men from Comoros. They will need to be at their very best if they are to protect this lead. Yeah, grab the 3 points nice and early. Good pressure. Lovely bit of pressure being applied. Yeah, hoping to force the error. And in the end, the Zambians are too cool for school in trying to avoid losing the ball. They've done a stunning job. Here they are still pushing over that halfway line and doing it in style. The Zambians are at last ball finds defense once again. Working hard for each other. Idris this time who read that superbly. Lovely approach play from the Zambians. Again, defenders game. Tasodi has been a defenders COSAFA Cup so far in this year's tournament, I think it's safe to say. Back down for you. Why in a moment as we look back to this foul. Botswana will be watching as the other team in the group here and quite possibly licking their lips at the prospect of playing against Comoros, whom they played next at the Dr. Petrus Malimela Stadium. And Botswana will end off their group against the Zambians. So I'll be watching closely and wondering whether the Zambians are surely there for the taking when it's their turn here. Time allowed the men on the ball defensively. Need to show a bit of urgency. Sooner or later, the Zambians here. Good work. Legal challenge right in front of the referee. Now strength needed to keep it alive then. Getting physical out there. It's getting competitive with both these sides. Really looking to ensure they get things going their way, especially that midfield battle. Look to challenge from behind. Yeah, the referee's positioning is absolutely spot on throughout the evening. Great view on the challenge, no doubt. There was no chance of ever playing the ball then, so the decision made nice and early to whip out that card. Confidently done in the body language as well, thanks to his positional play. It was going to be a matter of time until maybe they lost patience out of that bench and they'll start to look at the substitutes to try and shake things up. And take the chance. They'll be making way here. Again, wasting no time and getting off the field. You're almost moving at 3/4 pace to have this substitution take place. Mindful of the overall picture. They are chasing the game here. No point in wasting time with those subs. Well, so far, no player to score 2 goals in the tournament. Yusuf picking up the yellow card. Came into this match today with a goal average of 0.67. So it's not just about one team here. All the teams have maybe been challenged a bit with regards to creating chances, scoring goals, getting those numbers up. Defenders will be smiling, though. We can't just look at it and bemoan the defenders without giving credit to the defenders and just bemoaning the forward-thinking players. They really have defended well. The sides that have been on show here, just about every side, keeping their structure well, competing well in the middle of the park. Yusuf, Haji, 10 minutes into the second half. Of those that have found the back of the nets, each player has done so on one occasion in this year's tournament. Of the results that we have witnessed, for the most part, when teams have scored, it's just been one goal, winning it by just the one, or games ending with the 1-1 scoreline. No team yet running away with it from a goal scoring point of view, where there's been an avalanche, or maybe just two. Yanis. Yusuf. Not only does he have the magical touch, he's also so strong on the ball. Is the captain of Comoros. Now power in going forward then from Hachi, and the man who plays his tough football in Lithuania will be somewhat gobsmacked that the decision didn't come his way. Well, there's a nudge and then there's a push. He's saying that's a proper push. Approaching the hour. Well, there'll be pressure on some big nations in this year's tournament, nice and early as well. I'll mention the Zambians just for the way the situation currently is. Even if it ends at 1-1, it's not necessarily the start that we're looking for. Group C also another group with 3 teams in it: Tanzania, Madagascar, and Eswatini. Lesotho getting off to a good start in the group, beating Malawi, by the way, with a 1-0 scoreline. Angola and Namibia in a clash between former champions, ending with a 1-1 scoreline again. Just evidence of the matches we've enjoyed so far, and the fact that when goals have come, it's just been the one. So Comoros will be looking to be the first side to score 2 in this year's tournament, if they can. Bit of pace. Well read. Now that looks a good ball, should be kept alive on the near side. And he's worked the angle. The defender again takes a lot out of their power. Flag also going up late for the offside. Tell you what, for the officials, if you wanted to know, to come through for the COSAFA Cup, they do work hard, of course, in the games, but also really put to the test in the overall picture. It's just how they prepare for the games and how they review the games afterwards. It's something to witness once you are lucky enough to see how hard they're working and ensuring that they do take the standard of refereeing forward, including VAR, including their positioning where they should be when the ball is to X position on the field, where the referees advise to be to create the better angle than to be able to make a great decision for yourself. Madi. Once those back defending well, so looks for the byline again. He's only beaten one. The second pops up and approaching the hour. We'll be happy to have won the corner. Schindler to organize. Well, they've got their big men forward, out to that far post, and tell you what, the 2 central defenders, Yanis and Idris, are having some telling moments here, quietly getting on business in just keeping Zambia from creating chances here, dominating in the aerial duels, cool under pressure at times, as we just saw from Yanis a moment ago. Well, Zambia have done a good job of winning it back here And driving forward and looking to create that chance again. Right place, right time as the man in green defensively. Soko. Oh, he's lost it here in the dangerous area. I'll be happy to slow it down so much here, Comoros. Haji continues his battle against Soko. Working the angle, and in the end, I think he wanted the return ball. Then Haji didn't come. And we'll be making yet another change. That's the side that is in the lead, yeah. Asane to replace the goal scorer, Madi. And Kayombo will be coming on with the Zambians. Now, under 30 remaining on the clock here. The time that remains will begin to add pressure on the side most desperate, in this case, Zambia. There's your goal. Keeper's come, is nowhere near getting onto the end of it. Beaten to it inside the little box. Well, they are in absolutely no rush in making the change. Talk about taking your time and walking across the field. And well, for Mehdi, also plays his club football in France where he stays. He'll be happy with the start he's made here to life at the COSAFA Cup, and hope his teammates can at least secure the 3 points. Zambia looking to change all of that. 3 push forward now. Looks like maybe there should have been an offside then, but in the end they'll be happy to settle for the corner. Frustrated with the defense, and how well they are protecting Chindra. Desperate times. Body language tells you all you need now for Pili Jr. Again, good numbers pushed forward. How far to the appeals for a penalty? Yusuf looking to kickstart the counter if he has the options going forward. Going in towards the last 20, Yusuf. Tell you what, the appreciation of the COSAFA Cup year in and year out over the years from '97 is something we can't take lightly for those of us that have been watching it right from the get-go. When you see just how far the footballer from Comoros has come. The days when we say, no, they're just carpenters and such, and actually have a good time and go home, take maybe a 9-0 scoreline. No, they've closed the gap quite impressively, and not just that, they really do play some good football as well. And all of that over the years has seen their growth. Not just them, there's others as well in the COSAFA region, and it's all thanks to the work put in and year out in ensuring these nations can compete, finding guest nation when the need arises. And of course, let's not forget the hard work that's put into finding the hosts every year. Thanks to Kabeja, to Urban, in this case, Bloemfontein, a venue many have missed from a playing point of view. Rustenburg in years gone by, also visited other countries. There's a tournament in years gone by, just South Africa's readiness gives the nation a good chance. But always hosting. Now, very impressed with how cool and calm Zanu Dine has been in the middle of the park with the number 6 jersey. Desperate times. Yep. Well, they want him back on his feet and able to continue. Clearly the latest to go into the referee's book. Frustrating evening of football is turning out to be here for the Zambians. Good work. Patience in protecting the ball here as they try and get into a favourable position. I love the physical contest next to the corner flag just a moment ago between the defender and attacker. Yusuf. No point in closing down alone. It has to be a team effort for it to work, and they nearly did then for Comoros. In fact, it has. Yusuf. Well, nothing wrong with that challenge. Neither that one. On the turn here is Anugine. Approaching the last 20. Again, in the second half, they've puffed the Zambians. The one thing they haven't done is create clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities or ask questions of Chindra between the sticks for this Comoros side. Very well organized, the Comoros, giving nothing away here to the frustration of what's in Yolanda. Cool and calm is Chamba Amadi, the coach of Comoros. Now, for the Zambians, we'll have Botswana next, and then it could very well be curtains for them, depending on how things pan out, of course. I mean, such are the surprises here that the Lesotho's leading Namibia and Angola. Malawi lost in their group following that loss to Lesotho. Well, you have to exercise a little bit of patience in the modern game. Remember the one question Matamala Malaki was asking the coaches yesterday after a lengthy wait for VAR. They appreciate the fact that the technology helps with the game of football in accepting decisions, but yep, at nail biting rates is something one is not necessarily getting used to in a hurry. Now, Zambia now looking for something to may just fall their way inside that box still. Chindra not having to worry about making saves. Yes, he does get a feed of the ball every now and then, but not from a point of view where he's keeping Comoros desperate in the game to 9. Zambia, that's down to his teammates in front of him. They've done a great job of protecting him. Now, the Zambians again looking to find their best foot forward here. Nicely done then. Good first touch as well, right in front of the defender. Looking for the quality ball in there. The defender does enough in the end to make Zambia earn their way into that box. Zulu. Now, decent ball and good work defensively once again. Once again, Shinda doesn't have to worry about making the foul, the save, thanks to the Yanis. Now, telling moments these, where sides that at times struggle in an open play come up with moments of brilliance from the dead ball situations. I think the Suti in their game yesterday, one could argue they were outplayed until they scored from a corner. Seven in the box here for the Zambians. Well, the defenders doing up on the front post, and again, lovely work in winning the set piece and taking the momentum away from the Ghanaians, or from the Zambians, I beg your pardon. Loving that commitment from Aslani. He plays in Ivory Coast, of course. He's club football, the man wearing the number 18 for the Comoros side, for Kagnoa. Well, they'll be looking to shut up shop and turn the screws now with the ball player making way here, Zanu. And Mohammed, very much his defender. Getting Mohammed to help further frustrate the Zambians. Enjoyed watching Zanu Jine, by the way. Done his job for the day. Zambia losing it in a dangerous area here with Comoros now. Looking to put it together and driving forward. Even the loose balls are falling for the men in green. That's how much of the 73 minutes it's been so far in this match. They've been positive from the get-go with their body language, their communication lines, and all the positivity as they come down to the last 15 here. Now, Zambia, again, will impress with their eagerness to get numbers forward when they do push into that final third. It's brave men defensively that are enjoying themselves, yeah. Yep. It's no doubt they're coming together. Yeah, that's sort of been a bit painful for Haji. Well, the body language tells you everything you need to know about the desperate times Zambia find themselves in. Soko, Route 1 may very well be the order of the day here for the Zambians. That's good work. It's probably done in finding the teammates. Is it one too many passes? The answer is no, just the connection was below the standard Malenga was looking for. Well, have to wonder whether this game will serve up just one more goal here, and which of these two nations will be. To set up and score. Nicely done with the bit of a shuffle then and keeping it moving. Quality of footballer out in Comoros is very much upwardly mobile. Can't stress that enough, having watched them over the years. That's good work. Keeping the defense away. Is that a mistake here could very well prove costly. Comoros can't necessarily rest on their laurels here in the time that remains in this encounter. Zambia will be sniffing around for mistakes on their front foot, trying to defend right from the front. Not much in the way of options down the line. Toko. Ball did go out of play to the frustration of the Zambians here. They look for something a little bit special. Banda went a long way before the whistle eventually went against him. Comoros have under 13 minutes to hold on. Even with the win over Zambia last year, if you've asked a lot of their fans whether they could do it again this evening, won't be surprised to find that a good number of their fans may have thought, no, not twice in a row. Here we are, and they're looking at 2 wins in a row over Zambia. Seven appearances for Comoros in the COSAFA Cup. They only started partaking in the tournament around 2008. Again, they were later rivals, and my oh my, how they've improved between 2008 and 2025. Fourth place finishes last year with the same coach. Keep in mind, they've kept him at the helm for some time. And being Coach Jamba Amadou. Very similar to the situation with Leslie Noti out at Lesotho. Catch is a good one. The challenge was equally as good. Comoros are going to be a bit of a problem. I think the statement that's being made here, regardless of whether they eventually walk away with the 3 points or not, but they could very well be a big problem for sides in this year's tournament once again, which was the case last year. Time. Zambia will replace Mulenga. No surprise there. Well, clearly another of the players that's making way now. That's a good ball, and well, the numbers looking as though they were lining up on that far post, but men in green put out of nowhere to get it clean away for Comoros. Sensible work defensively to play it back to Machindra again. This was quality in the ball in. Top-notch defending. Yanis again. It was with that clearing header. Mentioned how he and Idris, the two central defenders, have been great 10 minutes remaining. They continue to suffer for one another in the middle of the park, and this is showing that Zambia can't really establish a rhythm here that they can build on. Comoros, things have gotten so good in recent years with players such as Yusuf out there that they've even had 2 appearances in the Cup of Nations. The first was in 2021. They got out the group stages in the Cup of Nations back in 2021. It's unbelievable the strides made, so we appreciate being witnesses thereof, but one has to take one's hat off to Comoros and the footballing fraternity. Nice touches in the middle of the park. Now, Zambia, with time running out, can't find the quality of the pass, but they'll get the decision, so in a hurry to get the ball and get it moving. Now, just about 5 remaining. Byline and numbers in there. Top-notch goalkeeping, protecting the near post. Under pressure as well. With the attack-minded player coming across the line of vision. Handling top-notch. Feeling the effects of an evening's hard work. Actually, yeah, should be able to continue with the game. There may be those that will be of the thought that he'll be milking this for all it's worth to try and kill some of the fun out the game here. The 37-year-old also plays Isla football out in France. There's Mohamed Youssef. Lovely ball. Great execution with the header. Get up and that upper body strength working. Keeper may have 1 or 2 questions asked of his presence selector of on that occasion. There'll be time added on to the 90 minutes of that, you can be sure. At one point with some of the matches recently, we've had 9 minutes added on to a game. Don't think many were appreciating the referee holding that ball as long as he did before dropping it. Keeping them on the edge of their seats then. Well, again, another in the men in green is down. No. Again, it doesn't look too serious at the first time of asking, but then again, it's taking the fun out of the game here for Wimanzi. They'd love to get the ball rolling here, and the yellow card will be going the defender's way. Place for Zenako.
Soko!
Again, you You can hear the voice in the background saying it's just wasting time, that one. It's all mind games. Now I'm seriously interested in seeing how much time will be added onto the 90. Yeah, some of these substitutes are long enough to understand the frustration coming out the Zambian bench. What's the end? I believe that is in the background.
Second ball.
There's a head on target. Keep in mind from Comoros. Easy. From Malenga. Quick to try and get it into the opposition half of the field. Doesn't have to be pretty anymore from the Zambians. Just has to be effective. Again, they'll look to keep their structure. And they look to make Zambia earn the inches they get going forward here. Errors coming to the 4 here late in the game, and I'm wondering if 1 or 2 over the Zambian heads may have dropped. If the belief has been taken away from them. Well, they wanted to do better than last year, that's for sure. Now, it's all about hitting it forward here and trying to avoid 2 losses on the trot to Comoros. Get the header back into the danger area, and when you've got 4 in there, that's just unlucky for the Zambians, that it's just not falling for them. Just won't roll kindly for them. Everything only in favor of the men in green here. And again, they may have worked hard enough to have earned their own luck here, staying committed to the cause in competing. Time to go back to the drawing board here. That familiar feeling from last year's return here for the Zambians. There will be pressure with the expectation on their shoulders in just about all aspects of the game here in the COSAFA region now. Yes, Yusuf! They combined so well to create the chance. In the end, he hit it straight at Malanga, either side, and well, it's game set match for the Zambians, but Zambia could still have a say at the end of it all. There's those 2 defenders again, Yanis and Idris. They will be serious contenders here for player of the match, those 2. Take your pick. Times like this when the pressure's really on. And inches make a huge difference. You stay committed, and well, in the end, they've won the decision. This was nice, beautiful pass here to spot the movements from Yusuf, and he's waited for it to come across his body so he can have that first-time strike on the left foot. The 37-year-old has gone down again. Yusuf. I say again because it's happened again inside the final 10, when one doesn't or didn't necessarily spot a coming together between him and an opponent. There's 6 minutes added on. well, the ambitions of nations on the continent will forever be growing, of course, from a football point of view, as Yusuf will be amongst those to have seen Comoros in his time, of course, and being part of this generation to have seen them improve to a point where they've been to a couple of AFCONs and such. And from a COSAFA point of view, of course, there's always the hope to see more nations win. AFCONs have a bigger impact at World Cups. Just being there is no longer enough for many African countries. That's just... that's the only way saying it's just rolled for your opponents and won't roll for you then. Zambia on a couple of occasions then were unlucky not to have won the ball, but here they are driving forward and looking to take matters into their own hands. Frustration. Yeah, Yusuf, the captain, will be coming off here. Again, they'll be throwing in another defender. The ladies' game has come up in leaps and bounds. The men's game very much moving in the right direction for Comoros. Time. Those precious seconds ticking in favor of the Comoros. Well, they last played in March where they had the beating of Chad. Here they are again looking to create another moment to try on the front foot. The difficult angle, but still the commitment to the cause was impressive then. And even with the angle, to still try and get the better of Molenga says a lot about the ambitions of this Comoros side. They need to send it forward and do so quickly. Again, it's Yanis, who's now moving into a more forward-thinking player, having committed from the center of defense. Good hustle here, and keeping it alive next to the corner flag by Haji. TikTok. Sensible play. And killing the game or managing the game. Sensible play. Really frustrating if Zambia this. Nope, referee had a great view of that and again made the superb decision of allowing play to continue. Now from a long way out! Oh, keeper looked as though he was in trouble, was he? Well, we saw them tried last year, the men from Comoros. I think it was Yusuf last year. Look at this. Keeper's off his line and Issa. Did he cross the line though? Yeah, was there. Should be needed to consult here. Touch there. Cheeky from Comoros. VAR's checking. Well, it could be a goal of the tournament. Considering when and who This is big. Yep, daily now. We get to situations where VAR has a huge say in matters here. Again, they've been on the money in just helping the quality of decisions and the refereeing overall. Nothing where we've had a VAR situation and fans and players and coaches have bemoaned that decision afterwards. Not in the COSAFA region, not even at TEF Champions League level. Well, they will take their time here. Keep in mind, we've gone beyond the 4 or the 6 minutes that were added on to the end of the game. Now, the big headline tomorrow will include the word upsets. That for Zambia, they've got a new nation here where they may be building a bit of a rivalry for the years to come. After Comoros beating them twice in a row. Could very well be scores that need to be settled. Zambia's outgoing game of last year in the group stages was a loss to Comoros. They begin this year's tournament with what looks like a loss to Comoros that may have rubbed into the wounds thereof here with the decision that is to follow right now. Mulenga thought or looked as though he had it under control. Didn't look at the second time of asking where using one hand may very well prove costly for him. Keeping it simple, just the one hand or the two-handed traditional catch, no problems. He uses one, then sort of has to juggle it to control it. The ball always looking as though it's under control until you consider the goal line, and that's where we are. I tell you what, one or two of the decisions will make for big talking points in this tournament, and well, whether this goal counts or not is a talking point, and across the line, that little juggling of the ball, one hand it looks good, but in the end it's unnecessary. He was already having a ball, wasn't he? He was loving this, just saying, yeah, 2-goal Christian, give it to us. That would have been the first side to score 2 goals in this year's tournament. That would have raised the pause, nothing going for Zambia. Well, we get to meet new players and men that make an impression and leave lasting memories and new stars. Haji is another. It's a bit thrust upon us here from Comoros to add to the number of stars they gave us last year. Sensible play, this. There you have it. Well, they thought, as did I, and I beg your pardon for this, has started to celebrate. Comoros thinking the 3 points were in the bag, and that was the final whistle. Not yet. Great work in denying the cross. Been so impressed with that part of the game, Comoros, here this evening. You can look it out wide as much as you want. They will stay goal side. They will deny that cross, and in the end protect this man here to a point where he hasn't had to make too many saves. I think the celebrations have started on the bench here for Comoros. Dying to hear what the coaches, Watson and as well as Shamba Ahmadu have to say after this game here. Oh, done the impossible twice, Comoros. One would have been considered impossible last year. Is now becoming the norm quickly in a couple of matches. A couple of wins. It's the mighty Zambia. Zulu had to do so much before being able to keep it moving. Now Zambia could, but I say now things turn out here late in the day. Haslani with the foul. In a good position here. If ever Zambia were in need of one moment of a brilliance, it's now. Could be the difference between staying in the tournament beyond the group stages or getting knocked out at the group stages in a consecutive tournament. If ever Chipolo needed a moment where it all just comes together in a 2-3 second span, it's now. How painful football can be when you consider how hard the likes of Giannis and Nizis have worked. If they were to just lose at 3 points now, it will hurt for them, it'll be joyous for Zambia. And it all starts with what should be a good ball from Zul. Edge of your street type stuff. Out in Zambia and Comoros, Zulu now. Wall's done his job. Stands firm. And it's those big men involving Giannis and Idris. They can't quite believe the game still continuing on that bench with the Comoros wanting to celebrate. Zambia hoping for 5 more seconds just so they can have one more chance. 8 in the box here for the Zambians. Everybody back defending for Comoros. Again, it all starts with the quality of the ball in. Nine in the box now for the Zambian. This waits as well. It's one of those where it's analyzing the times, taking his time in having a chat to the two players that you believe the referee. In fact, penalty check. Could be drama late in the day here. Will VAR have one more say? They're praying now. Inwardly are the Zambians. Well, there's the decision, and the check's complete. Zambia have to make it happen here on the near post or the far. And in the end, it's Comoros that have the perfect start to the 2025 COSAFA Cup. They would have thought, oh, can we end the group stages last year with a win over Zambia, start the group stages this year with a win over Zambia? But a year and a half ago, it may have seemed impossible. Here they are with 2 wins on the trot against the Zambians in a good start in a group with just 3 and standing a good chance once again of going beyond the group stages. As for the Zambians, well, the struggles and pain from last year is once again coming to the fore in just a start to the tournament here. It will not inspire a lot of confidence, but it means we'll need to hope for better luck and make their own luck going forward. Perfect start here, perfect game for Comoros. It wasn't just about the smash and grab, it's just how they went about business, defending and attacking, and loving Giannis and Idris in the heart of that defense, the work they put in. And the goal scored in the end. Top notch from Haji. Zambia, still the most successful nation in the COSAFA region, but a nation that needs to dig deep here to rediscover their dominance in Southern Africa. Out in the Free State capital, it's Comoros smiling at the end of it all, beating Zambia with a 1-0 scoreline. Well, the numbers certainly tell you a story, don't they? Zambia struggled creatively. They couldn't test the Comoros keeper. Chitla didn't really have to make a save in that game. And it's evident with the number of shots on target and it wasn't clear-cut chances as well that the Zambians created. Well, Comoros, while they created an open play, had a few in dead ball situations, but still had more of the ball than Zambia in just edging them out. And, well, Comoros getting the goal, getting the stats in their favor, but also playing the right game here as they're the perfect start. Let's go down and, well, hear what the coaches have to say. And, well, that should be like gold after a game like this.
Joined by the coach of Zambia, the losing coach, Coach Weston Nyirenda. Coach, what a terrible start for Zambia today.
Yeah, a bad start for us. I think I wouldn't. I'm so proud with the boys. They've done so well. 90% of the players, they are first timers in the international. We are giving them a chance to showcase their talents, and I think they played better game. We were all over the other team. We had all the chances that we could have wrapped the game with 3 goals, but unfortunately we could not take our chances. And they scored from the set piece, which was obvious because in the run of play they didn't have anything to offer. So they knew they had the heights and they used it. And I think the only mistake that we had is not to use our own chances, because we had 3 chances in the first half and some more 3 again in the second half. We could have wrapped up the game. But I know in the second game we are going to do better.
Speaking of the second game, that's going to be a do or die for Zambia.
Yeah, it's going to be tough also. Botswana is playing, but I think there is nothing that we can do. That one is just a must win.
And coach, from this game against Comoros, what positives are you taking to the next game?
A lot of positives. I think, like I said, 90% of first-timers in the team, young players, they've done well. To come on top of this team, 90 minutes, most of the parts of the games, the game we went on top of the game. But I think all we need is just finishing.
And lastly, coach, a sad day for Zambia today, losing your former president.
Yeah, I think it's a very somber day for Zambians. A dark crowd has fallen again on the heads of the Zambians. We lost our father and our statesman, Mr. Lungu, Dr. Lungu, and yeah, I think we just have to take it. It's God's way.
Thank you, coach. All the best in the next game.
Thank you so much.
And now we're joined by the coach of Comoros, Coach Ahmad Jambe. Coach, that was a very long added minutes. How did you feel? How's your heart?
Il y avait beaucoup de temps additionnel dans ce match. Comment est-ce que vous avez vécu ça sur le banc?
On a vécu ça normal. Vous avez vu, on a fait beaucoup de changements. On est redescendu derrière à 3 défenseurs. On avait fait un 3-5-2. Et nous, on savait que voilà, quoi, sur les balles aériennes, sur les côtés, on va répondre. Après, on a eu une action qui est litigieuse à la fin. Bon, ça n'a pas marché, mais bon, on a fait le boulot. Le plus important, c'est les 3 points.
The most important today is that our boys did the job. We got the 3 points. During this added time, extra added time, I told my players to just 3 defenders at the back and to try to win all the balls, and that's what they did. And yeah, it was difficult on the bench, but yeah, we managed to bring the 3 points today.
And coach, where do you think Comoros got it right?
Où est-ce que vous pensez que les Comores ont surtout excellé aujourd'hui?
Excédé sur la solidarité. Ils ont excédé sur la solidarité, ils ont été compacts, ils ont bien poussé sur des zones défensives, et après sur la transition on allait vite. Mais bon, aujourd'hui ça s'est joué sur un coup de pied arrêté. On a eu la chance, on a marqué. Et voilà quoi, on a affronté une grosse équipe de Zambie qui était offensif, mais on a fait le boulot. Le plus important, c'est les 3 points.
Okay. I think that my players play as a family today. We were one, and we fought on every ball. They respected my advices, and so I want to add that for your first question is that there was a goal. I think it was, but yeah, the referee did not want to check the VAR. And I'm happy because we beat a very strong team of Zambia. We know Zambia, they're very, very strong and very young. And yeah, we're happy for them.
And how important is that 3 points?
Bon, 3 points aujourd'hui, à quel point c'est important pour vous?
Moi, c'est important parce que faut pas oublier que les Comoros n'ont jamais battu la Zambie. Et moi, grâce à Dieu, je les ai battus 2 fois. Et là, je ne sais pas si j'ai de la chance, mais franchement, bon, c'est un adversaire qui est très difficile. Vous avez vu, on a étudié, on a regardé 2023, 2024. Et cette année, elle est complètement différente. Il restait 5 joueurs de 2024. Ça veut dire qu'ils ont fait une grosse préparation. Et nous, on est prêts. Vous avez vu, on a 13 joueurs de l'extérieur. On a 10 de France et 3 qui jouent en Afrique dans les grands championnats.
So before my arrival, we never beat Comoros, and I have been able to beat them twice, and thank God for that. We know that Comoros is becoming a strong team. We have many players from France and many players who play in a big championship in Africa, and I think that we have a very good future.
Merci, and
thank you very much.
The next game.
Merci beaucoup. Ok, merci.